Hi everyone! So, I'm indecisive. If you've been watching me for a while, you probably already know that. I'm always changing things about my art, redesigning my characters, or switching up their stories. In one of my previous videos, I briefly mentioned rebooting one of my stories. I have a few, but the one I'm tackling today is Warmed Up. I rewrote it pretty heavily, enough to make it into its own video, so sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. So, the biggest change I implemented is the setting. So far, Warmed Up has been a slice of life set in college, which isn't bad, but it didn't really add to the story itself, and my other universe is set in college, so it started to feel kind of repetitive to me. I decided to switch it to a workplace slice of life. It's set in a coffee shop and a bakery across the road from one another. Maybe there's a bit of a rivalry going on there as well. Not the heated kind though. The bakery is a family business. It's small, has a nice selection of baked goods to choose from, and it's really cozy. The coffee shop is more modernized, but it's still small, not a big chain or anything. This setting gives me a lot more plot ideas, there's a lot of potential for some funny or even dramatic moments, and it's different from my other stories. Now, the characters. They actually did not change that much, I just aged them up by a few years so they're all in their mid-20s, around that, and adjusted some of the dynamics to fit the new setting. Let's start with Tasha Miller. She is the oldest in the cast and works in a bakery. She's energetic, loud, can be a bit too much sometimes. When it comes to her friends, she is a fierce protector, but as an employee, she can be pretty sloppy. Her attitude matches her pay. She's relaxed, unhurried, can be rude back to rude customers, talks informally. Most people find her unprofessional, which is definitely fair, but that relaxed vibe has also attracted quite a few customers. Because she doesn't talk or behave like a robot, they feel more inclined to come back again and again. Tasha is also no stranger to freely giving out discounts or freebies, no matter how many times she's been asked to not do that. Their role in the story is to bring in the chaos a little bit, some humor and energy. The other characters are much more reserved, so Tasha kind of balances it out. They're also a lesbian and have a romantic storyline going with a different character that I'll get to in a bit. I drew a few outfits for each character, including work uniforms. I'm not sure if Tasha's style has a specific name. She loves baggy jeans and jorts, especially jorts, little tops to go with that too, some funky earrings or other accessories, fun colors that maybe sometimes don't exactly go together. There's more I have to say about her, but that has to do with other characters, so I'll get to that in a second. Moving on. Next is Oliver Cooper, my precious beloved son. I missed him. He's a year younger than Tasha, and the two of them are childhood friends and work together at the bakery. They're a set, do not separate. They've gone through multiple different workplaces together, but have been sticking to the bakery so far. It's mostly because of Oliver and his perfect attitude. He's hardworking, impossibly polite, puts as much effort as possible into everything he does, and he's just a pretty sweetheart. Once he got hired, the bakery's popularity skyrocketed. People started coming in just to see him and interact with him. So the only reason they still haven't gotten fired is if Tasha gets kicked, Oliver will leave too. Can't have that. Like I said, he's a sweetie pie, very caring, soft-spoken, but will not hesitate to defend anyone who needs it. He gets lots of tips from people crushing on him, though the bakery doesn't even do tips like that. His style is basically cozy sweaters, flannels, pants, brown and green mostly. He doesn't think about what he wears too much, but it always looks amazing. He's a big romantic, but so far he hasn't been doing well in the department. He's had a few crushes, but it never went further than that. Though, a little later in the story, he gets a crush on someone from across the road. Ooh, who could that be, I wonder? But yeah, that's Oliver. I love how his face looks here. He looks very sweet. Because he is. I really miss drawing him. My son. Next up is Tyler Simmons. They are the dry character. Very deadpan, low energy, blunt, unexpressive. They work at the coffee shop and they're roommates with Tasha. The two rent a small apartment together. They've been friends for a while, even tried to date at one point, but it didn't last very long. That's what made Tyler realize that they're just not interested in romantic relationships like that. They are aro ace and just kind of observe the chaos that's happening around them. As an employee, Tyler is decent. They're good at making coffee, get everything done on time, but their social skills are a little rusty. When customers try to joke, they don't entertain it. When someone asks them a stupid question, they just stare. They come off as rude a lot without meaning to. My favorite part of Tyler is their appearance. They have a very alternative style and change their look a lot. An ongoing bit with this character is that they look drastically different every day, and no one seems to notice it or pay attention to it aside from Tyler's co-worker that I'll get to in a second. Their hair changes dramatically. I honestly mostly did it just so it's fun for me to draw Tyler. I mean, they always have the same expression, very relaxed body language, so it gets a bit boring if they have a set look. But with this, it's a lot more fun to draw them, and it's just a silly little thing to add to the story, you know? When I posted this drawing, someone asked if Tyler has scoliosis because of the way I drew their posture. And you know what? That was not the intention, but I'm gonna run with it because I love the idea. You know what? Hell yeah. Yeah, they do have scoliosis. Next up is Nicole Newman. Now, she has gone through a lot of changes. I gave her a big makeover last year for Cringetober. Her personality has changed a lot too. She started off not exactly as a self-insert, but definitely heavily inspired by me. I made her when I was really struggling with my anxiety and trying to fit into a new environment, feeling very insecure and all those things. So I kind of heavily projected all of that on her. Over time she's grown to be more herself though, and I have changed too. Nicole is very reserved, but opens up a lot more once you get to know her better. She has a bit of a dry humor, a short temper at times. She works at the coffee shop with Tyler. As an employee, she's good, but definitely nervous. She'll get things done, but she'll be stressed and complaining the whole time. Her and Tyler work pretty well. It was awkward at first, but Nicole opened up much faster than usual. Something about Tyler just felt safe, and she's the only one that seems to notice the constant changes of their hair, and it drives her crazy sometimes. In terms of sexuality, she used to be unlabeled, but I think I want to make her demi-romantic, actually. Well, I guess she would still be unlabeled since she wouldn't call herself Demi, but, you know, from the creator point of view, she's Demi. She's always struggled with romance, felt kind of behind when everyone around her was in relationships and all those things. As she got older, she decided to stop worrying about it, kind of pushed it aside to sort out later. But then she keeps seeing this tall guy with big brown eyes and a pretty smile coming into the shop with his friend. The friend always talks to Tyler while the guy waits. It's a regular thing, and eventually Nicole decides to talk to him. It's Oliver, and Nicole is the crush I mentioned. They talk and click pretty much instantly. Nicole doesn't immediately catch feelings though, it takes a while. It starts with simple greetings, then they talk a little more, become friends, get closer and closer until it slowly moves into romance territory. Oliver catches feelings pretty early on, but never oversteps. He's kind, sweet, and helpful. Their relationship is a slow burn, with Nicole slowly
warming up to him.
Yep, that's where the name came from. Once Nicole realizes her feelings, she kind of freaks out because it's so new to her and she has no clue how to act. Oliver also doesn't really know how to act, so they're just two stupid dorks together. I love them, and I love how they contrast each other. And the last character is Kat Evans. You might have seen her already, she's appeared on my channel quite a few times. I've used her for drawing challenges, made animations with her, and even made a doll of her kind of recently. I love her. Kat is a regular at both the coffee shop and the bakery. She's a student and stops by both places for a quick energy boost and a snack pretty much every day. The coffee shop often becomes her studying spot as well. She's a very sweet person. I mean, just look at her. She can come off as shy and timid at first, but once you get to know her better, she shows the more chaotic side of herself. Kat is also a lesbian, and she has a romance plot with Tasha. It's also kind of slow, but not as much as with Oliver and Nicole. It starts as a crush on Tasha's side. She tries to flirt, fumbles every single time, but somehow it does charm Kat. Before this, Kat wasn't really connected to any other characters. Now she's friends with Nicole. They went to school together. They're not like super best friends, but pretty close. Close enough for Kat to know about Nicole's romantic issues and sense what's going on with her and Oliver. Kat loves romance novels, so she jumps to the opportunity to push the two together, basically. Her and Tasha end up teaming up for this. They manufacture romantic situations, kinda nudge the two towards each other. The process is kinda painful for Tasha at first, but she's down anyway. Through all of this, they grow closer and do end up together. Yay! Kat's style is coquette, kind of. Lots of pink, lace, and bows. She has a couple cats back at her apartment. I mean, come on, obviously. I love her. I already said it, but I'll do it again. I love her. Now for my overall vision of this whole thing, I guess. If you've been following me for a while, you might remember that at some point I did try to turn this story into a webtoon, but it did not last long and it wasn't very good. I did not know where the story was going to go, and I just didn't really have the skills for a whole comic. I still want to make this a comic, but instead of a linear one, I think I want to break it down into short comics that are loosely connected. I've seen some artists do that, where it's just short little comics that you might not even need to read in order, but there is a plot there connecting them, like the romances and stuff. I think that will work really well for what I'm envisioning here. Just humorous short comics, little scenarios that happen in workplaces, a customer asking a stupid question, some shenanigans, more emotional and grounded moments here and there. And if you read them in order, you'll catch the developing dynamics between the characters. Something like that. I feel like that could be really cool, and if I do end up doing that, I might make a separate account for it. I don't know. I'm not that great with keeping promises, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I feel like with the new setting there's a lot of comedy potential, but those are all the things that I changed. As always, I'm open to ideas, so if you have any, feel free to share. I love doing teamwork like that. You guys are smart. Also, I made a separate video with the voice claims for these characters, so you can check that out too. This is it for this video. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Check out my other socials, they'll be on the screen and in the description. Stay safe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!